wanted to read a little passage from the prophet Isaiah chapter 9. And this is what it says in verse 2. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned. It talks about the way in which the Messiah is going to come to God's people, the Jewish people. And this passage from Isaiah is quite commonly read at carol services and Christmas services. And I'm going to read a little bit more of it from verse 1. Nevertheless, there will be no more gloom for those who were in distress. In the past, he humbled the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, but in the future he will honour Galilee of the Gentiles by the way of the sea along Jordan. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, the light has dawned. You have enlarged the nation and increased their joy. They rejoice before you as people rejoice at the harvest, as men rejoice when dividing the plunder. For as in the day of Midian's defeat, you have shattered the yoke that burdens them, the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor. Every warrior's boot used in battle and every garment rolled in blood will be destined for burning, will be fuel for the fire. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end. This is talking so much about the announcement of Jesus coming and the way in which he's going to change things around. In the time of Gideon, one of the judges in the Old Testament, the Midianites were the ones who are threatening and oppressing and overpowering God's people. And it talks and refers to that time and that victory, oppression being overthrown. And of course people would imagine that that meant political overthrow, but it was much bigger than that. An overthrow of the kingdom of darkness, of all that oppresses people, body, soul and spirit, the freedom that God brings. Galilee of the Gentiles, that's mentioned in verse 1, is that crossroads really of the ways in which people would travel. Israel being at the crossroads between Africa, Asia and then on to Europe as well. And that crossroads place where so many different nations would come through the land of Galilee. So it announces that this good news is going to be good news, not just for the people in Israel, the Jewish people who are there, but also the many nations that would come through. And that's the good news, that God brings his good story, his hope, his peace, his freedom from oppression to all people everywhere.